Hello, hello, going live here. Be a better listener. I've talked about this before in other live streams. I don't know if I've made it a specific topic. Maybe some of the people that come on pretty regularly can tell me if I did or did not, but I think it deserves a little bit more time because it is, believe it or not, it is a core concept of becoming more attractive to all humans, not just someone you're pursuing in a romantic relationship. But if you really think about it, I'm just going to open this up actually, because this drape just looks ugly right now. So be a better listener. It's attractive, right? Is there someone in your life that is a really good listener? Maybe a family member, a friend, or someone that you've dated or been in a relationship with? How you doing, Jersey girl? I'll get back to you in about 10 minutes after I dive into this topic, but thanks for having you. It's always good to have you on the show. Be a better listener. Is there someone that you know that's a really good listener, or do you consider yourself a good listener? Please put it down in the comments below or in the live stream, put it on the side comments. And do you think it is a core part of people being attractive that's outside of physical attraction? And what are some of the ways that people can be better listeners? So I'm going to get right into this. Signs of a good listener. Who do you listen to in your life? You know, when I was growing up, looking back, my grandfather always held my ear. And when I was a kid, he would always have a lesson looking back. And one of the first ones I remember, he was very specific about, and I don't know if it was a good lesson or a bad lesson. I guess it could be called neutral. But we had the San Francisco Chronicle. He was a big newspaper reader. My father was too, or is now still too. And my grandfather, there's something called the Sporting Green, and that was the sports page was green. And my grandfather would always go, "You always want to get the sports page first." And growing up, now I don't read the newspaper. I always read the sports first. And I was a huge sports fan. Now, did that have any value in that lesson or anything like that? No, it was just the way he went about showing me something with such care and interest. And the other thing I remember him saying, like, you always want to drink ginger ale when you have a stomach ache. He always had a story behind something or a remedy for something. When he was going through a really tough time in his life, he had lost some people close to him, and I was having a deep chat with him, a deep discussion and listening. And he said one of the things that always kept him through was his religion. He's a Irish Catholic, and followed that really closely. And why I'm mentioning him is I chose to listen to him. And I think that a lot of people tend to give older people the benefit of the doubt. We hold them with higher respect, especially in some cultures, higher than others. And we listen to them and have more patience with them. I've mentioned this before. My great grandmother lived with us for years till she was 94. And you had a lot of patience with her because she's in her 90s. She deserves it, right? And I don't know if we give those patience to our colleagues, our peers, our friends as much, because we look at it like, well, you're just like me. You're not special. You're not older. You're not this. And I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. So who's the best listener you know? Do you like hanging out with them? And I don't know. I didn't really ask myself this question when I wrote it, and I'm thinking about it right now. I talk to my mom like once or twice a week for long conversations. I have a good friend that was a college roommate that I talk to for long conversations. I have another good friend here that when we have conversations, he definitely listens. I think one of the things is when you have things in common, when you care about each other, and when you have some years behind you, you have a lot of things to reflect on, right? The buddy I was just talking about I've known him for 10 years. He's also a teacher. He's lived in Thailand, so we have a lot to talk about. The other one was a college roommate. We've just always been really connected well and been on the same page, and we've known each other for 20 years, or 18 maybe. And of course, your mother or your father or your aunt or your uncle, in my case, my mother, she's always been there. So I know her like the back of my hand, right? I know her better than anyone else. And the fact that she doesn't always listen as intently because my mom will butt in from time to time. She interjects, but that's okay. So think about that. Who's the best listener you know? Do you have some of those aspects to you? And do you like hanging out with them? And instantly when I wrote this, I'm thinking those are the people that I like to hang out with most. Now, these aren't necessarily your best friends because best friends are affected by environment, proximity, how far you live apart. And, so like these three people that I just mentioned, they don't live anywhere close to me. And so it's not easy for us to hang out regularly. We'd have to talk on the phone or make time, but they definitely are the people I like to hang out with the most because in a conversation, when I'm talking, they're actually listening and it creates great conversation. And those are flow states where you just, it's been 2 hours and you don't know where the time went. Choose who you conversate with wisely. So if there's someone that you're with and you're talking to, and I've realized this over the last couple of years because I'm a conversationalist and I like to talk and I like to chat and I like to get deep on some things. If someone just doesn't like listening, that's someone that you need to cut anchor on and probably not hang out with as much because they'll exhaust you because it will be all about them. It'll be an I conversation, as in, I did this, I did that, they did this to me, I, me, I, me, I, me, these kinds of people. And it could be he's a good friend of mine. Well, it's probably not the best person to hang out with because it's not going to make you feel better about, the conversation. You're being neglected in a lot of ways in the friendship. People that complain that nobody communicates well with them are sometimes bad listeners. Now think about this because this comes up on my live streams. This has come up in live coaching sessions. Okay, I will give a shout out. This is why I don't check the live stream. I'll be right back with you, Ernesto. I'm going to finish this up though. People that complain that nobody communicates well with them are sometimes bad listeners. I really want to talk about this because a lot of times people, oh, my ex was a bad communicator. They were a bad this, they were a bad that. And I just want to ask yourself, are you being a good listener? Are you just pissed off because someone didn't listen to you? But are you being a good listener? Everything's contagious. Everything's receptive. Everything has two sides. There's polarization. If someone is a better listener to me, I'm going to go out of my way to be a better listener to them. And someone that's not listening to you as well, you have to ask yourself, where's the conversation going? Am I repeating myself a lot? Am I redundant? There's a lot of people that are redundant. That's why when I do a live coaching session, it's really nice. It's the first or second time we talk, and you can talk about everything, and it's all fresh. And I gave you a little bit of guidelines as far as how to write your story and get that out. And writing it out helps a lot because a lot of times you're stuck on one part and you go over it again and again. Having some kind of form to it is different. So accusing other people of being bad listeners, you have to look at yourself a little bit. And I find that people that are quite obsessed with themselves find this out a lot, that, oh, this person just doesn't listen, but they don't want to listen to you in some cases. So beware of that. We have this term narcissist. This is thrown around. It's all over the internet. It's all over YouTube. And so a lot of people are, oh, he's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. And everyone has this behavior. Narcissists are selfish people. But one thing is for sure, generally a real, genuine narcissistic person lacks listening to anything other than what benefits them. In my experience, that's a real narcissist. If it doesn't benefit them, it's a dead end in the conversation. If it doesn't make them out to be a hero or a victim, which I believe narcissistic behavior, a lot of times you're either the hero or the victim. If you don't get what you want, you're the victim. If you got what you wanted or you did really well, then you're going to gloat and you're going to talk about it all day under the sun, how great it was. And these kinds of people to have conversations with, if you're listening to them, again, it goes back to choose your conversations wisely. You won't want to continue that conversation. You won't be a good listener because at some point it's one-way traffic. It's all about them. And like I said, they only want to talk about what benefits them. They have low levels of compassion. They have low levels of empathy. They have low levels of wanting to understand what you're saying, and all they care about is you understanding them and listening to them. And so you being a good listener, you can sometimes fall bait to them, and you got to catch yourself and go, you know what? I don't want to waste my listening time on this. So top 10 ways to be a better listener. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Top 10 ways. We got a few more on deck. If you don't hear something, ask for it to be repeated. So you didn't hear something correct. Someone mumbled something. It was stumbled. Excuse me again. I'm sorry. What did you just say? That's actually not rude. That's actually you actually conveying, I'm listening. I just didn't hear what you said, and I want to be clear. So if you didn't hear something correct, excuse me again, please. Pardon me. This happens when you listen, when you have someone that has an accent or is a foreigner from another country that speaks English with an accent, or speaks Thai with an accent, or speaks Chinese with an accent, whatever it is. Sometimes that communication's a little lost, and you might not say anything because you think you're being nice, but it's actually a lot better just to go, wait, what are you trying to say? And I'll literally say, if someone's a foreigner and they don't speak English well, I'll say, spell it. How are you spelling it? And all of that is me showing that I'm engaged in the conversation and I do care and I want to get it right, because if I miss a word or I miss something that seems important to the conversation, you might even say, wait, say that again. I don't think I caught that correctly. Can you say that sentence again? That's a good listener. Number 2, if you don't understand something, tell them. And I'm not just saying, the first part was if you didn't hear something correct. The second one is if you didn't understand something, the way they conveyed the message or told the story, it doesn't make sense. Tell them in a straight up neutral way. Wait, I don't understand that. Can you say that again? Now, some people take it negative as if you weren't listening to them. But really what you're saying is, no, I was listening, but I still don't understand. Can you reword that or rephrase that in a different way? And if someone's a good speaker or orator or teacher or someone that is a friend, they'll go, yeah, no problem. Let me see if I can reword this so you can better understand it. Number 3, say their words back to them. Have you ever heard of this before? So if they say, yeah, I'm going to the beach this Sunday, and I'm going to take my girlfriend, and I'm going to take her son, and then we're going to go surfing. And then you go, oh, you guys are going to go surfing this Sunday? Now you might think that this would be annoying, right? Oh, people are going to get annoyed. Actually, and then the person will go, yeah, Sunday I'm going surfing. It conveys, I'm absolutely listening. I heard exactly what you just said. So, and you'll hear people do this sometimes. Oh, so Sunday you're going to go surfing. Yeah. Most people won't go, yeah, that's what I just said, man. They'll go, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Play back their words to them. It shows that you are listening, and it also reaffirms to yourself that you got it correct. 4, don't cut people off. I used to do this a lot. I do it sometimes now. And I watch it. I catch myself. And when I start to cut someone off, I'll stop and I'll go ahead, finish. I'm sorry. I used to do this a lot. You think you're going to lose track of what you wanted to say. I understand. If that's the case, keep a paper and pen. But have confidence that you'll know in a minute. One thing I like to do now in live coaching sessions, just some kind of reassurance to the individual. I'm listening. Or I'll even say, if they're going on, I'm listening. Now, you don't do that every 10 seconds. You just, if someone's going on and on, they want to know, are you hearing me? Because some people can go, and let them finish. Let them finish. And if it's a conversation you don't want to be in, let them finish and then find your way out of the conversation if you really don't want to be in it. But just to let them finish their point, that goes a long way for a good listener. Number 5, stop trying to be right. Stop trying to be right or force your point of view down their throat. Agree to disagree sometimes, or really listen. Go, wait a minute. I want to hear, even though I don't agree with you, I really want to know why I'm not agreeing with you. I want to know why. So I just saw Joe Rogan was on with, I think his name's Russell Brand. He used to be a comedian. He was in that movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's all over YouTube now, and he's very opinionated, and his speed of processing when he talks very fast. He uses very big words. And he's a bit confrontational and sarcastic. And so Joe Rogan hunts. He's a hunter. Not everyone likes hunting. So this guy brings this topic up sarcastically, like, I don't understand why you would be a hunter. And Joe Rogan gives him good answers. Listen, since the beginning of time, I eat the meat that I kill. I find it to be this. Actually, money from hunters actually goes to conservation. He has all these points lined up. Now, if this guy, Russell Brand, came into it and was like, hunters are bad, they're horrible, they shoot, Bambi, this and that, he still was like that. But Joe Rogan gave him all these bullet points of why hunting wasn't so bad, and they made sense. And it didn't necessarily shift this guy, Russell Brand's idea, but he understood it better, right? Because he had to listen to him. Number 6, speak more on topics you know about. Listen intently on ones you don't. So if there's something you know a lot about, you're probably excited to talk about it. If there's something you know a little bit less about, or you're not all dialed in, then those are the times to listen intently. Number 7, don't make assumptions. How many of us do that? Do you make assumptions? A lot of people make assumptions, right? Don't make assumptions in the conversation. Ask questions. Body language counts. If someone's talking and I'm like this, when you're listening, you don't need eye contact 100% of the time, but you don't certainly want to be going. Deep breaths convey, I'm done listening to you. Pointing your feet towards the door means I'm trying to leave. I don't want to talk to you. This one I really don't like. It's not body language, but it's a way of talking. Yeah. You're talking. Yeah. They're shaking. It's hurrying people. If you don't have time to talk or you don't want to listen, just say, hey, you know what? I got to go. I don't have time now, but let's continue this conversation tonight later on. Instead of being, not being all in. People can sense body language wise that you're not all. Are you listening to me? And someone's like, yeah. And you can literally like catch it. Yeah, I am. Right. Body language counts. Number 9, put your phone away. No excuses. Someone's talking to you, especially if it's something serious, put your fucking phone away. Oh, someone just called me. One moment. One moment, I'm going to check my phone. Excuse me. This is what I do. Excuse me for one moment. I'm going to check my phone. Check my phone and then put it away. There's no reason to be searching the internet. Now, if something comes up and you got a question, you're like, you know what? I'm going to look that up on Google and we're going to stop arguing about that. That's fine. But put your phone away while you're talking to someone. Okay. If you pull it out while they're talking, say, excuse me, just like you would if you burped or farted. Number 10, ask good questions pertaining to the topic that you believe the other person can answer. This is golden, folks. Ask good questions pertaining to the topic that you believe the other person can answer. Don't go for questions where you're trying to stump them. Oh, let me just ask this to see if they're not a know-it-all. Ask them questions that you actually care to know the answer about and you believe, yeah, this person probably has the answer to it, or I want their opinion on it. Number 11, yeah, I went a little bit over the top here today. Seek to understand, not to be understood first. Number 12, this is the final one. Realize whatever someone says, they weren't born this way. They were programmed through life experiences. So whatever their viewpoint is, ignorance is bliss. And you're thinking, why the hell do they think this way? Why the hell do they talk this way? It's the same thing if someone has an accent. They weren't born with that accent. They were programmed with it by their environment and their life experiences and the way people talked around them. So if you're talking to someone and they're going this way and you're going this way, don't blame it on them. Don't get angry at them. Seek to understand, not to be understood first. All right, let's get on deck here. 8 on deck. Throw me a like if you like the channel, please, folks, for the algorithm's sake. All right. Ernesto, Mac, can you give a shout out to Johan? Thanks. He will enjoy your wisdom on the subject. Johan, welcome, my friend. If you have any questions, throw them out there if you're on the live stream right now. What's up, Mary? Mary, Mary. So we got a hello, hello. Missed the beginning, so I'll catch up later. Enjoying listening to all the crickets outside on a beautiful, calm night. Well, good for you. Good for you. I had the roosters crowing earlier. Put the cell phone down when you're talking to someone. Good one, Jersey girl. It should go without saying, but unfortunately, it isn't. Agree. Active listening. Nursing students have this drilled into them. What would you say active listening is? If you can just elaborate a little bit. See how good that's actually good listening or good reading when I ask you a question about what you said. On deck, but heading to a film festival after party soon. Well, enjoy yourself, Rob. Heading to a film festival. That seems cool, man. I haven't been to a film festival before. I guess Toronto has a lot going on over there. What's the film that you're looking forward to seeing in that film festival? I always think of the one over in Utah. Park City is supposed to be one of the best ones. Shh, you live a life, dude. I feel gracious that we have someone like Robin that's so busy all the time. Good for you, man. TIFF is one of the biggest film festivals in the world. Cool, man. I've heard of that before, actually, I think. So what's the one or two big, because these are mostly independent films, probably. What are the one or two independent films, Rob, you want to maybe say are really good? Vegas Finest, Martinez, Luna Martinez. How are you, bud? You got any questions on deck today? You are welcome. Vegas Finest, yeah. How is it living in Vegas? We talked about this yesterday, huh? We talked about this a few days ago. I mean, it's hot where I live. I just woke up and arrived to work on time. Well, that's a good start, dude. On time. Be impeccable with your word, as they say in the Four Agreements. Has anyone read that book, The Four Agreements? I'm going to do a book review on that. By Don Julio Ruiz. In LA, yeah, I'm over it. I want to go back to Inglewood, my hometown. Oh, wow. That reminds me of Mac 10 back in the day, the rapper. Inglewood always up in this hood. Inglewood's where the Lakers play, right? Inglewood. That's what he says at the end of his rap. Yep. Inglewood. I want to go back. Yes, that's the fabulous forum. Cool, man. Well, I mean, you do your time in Vegas, you do your job. Whenever you live somewhere new, it's always a good life experience. You're going to meet a few different people. You're going to realize how much you like back home. I find that people that grow up in big cities, they usually are stuck to big cities afterwards. I don't know if Mac 10 was in a group with Ice Cube. Oh, yeah. I think maybe he was. What was this? What was that song? Mac 10. I'm trying to think of it. It's in my head. It's swirling around. When I was a freshman in high school a long time ago, my friends used to just joke like Mac 10. Everyone has a nickname for the name Mac. Little 10, which is really a gun you're being named after. An automatic weapon. I don't know if that's a good thing. So we have topic today, be a better listener. Do you consider everyone that's on deck today, what would you put yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as a listener? Have you even thought about that as an individual, just as a listener overall? I would say at this point in my life, I give myself an 8. But I'll tell you what, in the past, when my 20s, probably a 5 or 6. Maybe, I was selective. It's getting chilly here. West Side Connection was their group. Yep. Okay. You're right. I used to have a singles tape. You're correct. Good knowledge, Rob. Listening to one thing, but committing to your thoughts is another. Good statement, Luna. I like that, dude. Martinez. I like it. Good knowledge, Rob. That's why you like this show, huh? Because it goes all over the place. Anyone have any breakup questions? Relationship questions? Judy Jack, you were on earlier. What's going on with Disney World and the platonic friend? Did you leave yet? Are you planning on leaving soon? Put the AC on here. Dial in. I can say, okay, I'll stop doing that, but not going through with it is not being a good listener. So you're saying if your partner says something for you to do, a hard 7? What's a hard 7? So it wouldn't be a 7.2? A hard 7. I think you know what, thinking about this right now, as opposed to a soft 8, I knew Rob would jump on that. No pun intended. Bad minds. Active listening examples. I'm upset, nurse. You seem upset. You never get defensive. You never tell me not to worry. Essentially, you mirror their feelings back to them. Yeah. I didn't know that they taught that in nursing school, but it's interesting because some people go, oh, that would be annoying. It's not annoying. When you use it in conversation, it actually is very good for the other person to know that you know their feelings. So I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know about that, Judy Jack. I actually do that in some ways in live coaching sessions. You know what? When you deal with individuals, though, when you get really good is when you identify who they are as an individual rather than grouping them in. What I will say is putting the intention first that, hey, I'm going to listen to this. This is important. So when I get a live coaching session, it's like, all right, I'm going to sit down for an hour and a half and I'm going to listen. I put on my game face. I'm ready to talk. And it's different than if you're, my mom calls me up out of the blue and I'm in the middle of doing something. So you can prepare yourself for better listening as opposed to a soft 8. I'd say I'm a high on the list, maybe 8 or 9. Well, go for you, Jersey Jen. How about we go with 8.5 for Jersey Jen? I didn't want to be like Mac in 8. I was just off the top of my head. I guess, though, if we really think about it, the person that would best judge our listening skills is the people that talk to us the most. But I've been told by friends that I'm a good listener. So the hard no is a phrase I hear often. Hey, Mac, this is probably weird to ask, but lately I've been randomly looking at the time and I frequently tend to catch the numbers 11, 11, 30. I was scaling on me being a good listener. I don't know what that means. That sounds superstitious. I know that Mary's into that stuff a little bit, I think. The 11-11. Is that something you're supposed to make a wish on? I know 11-11. I've heard of that before. Your subconscious is so much more powerful than you know, and you might be filtering for that, literally. What I'd ask you, Luna, what does it mean to you? Does it literally mean nothing? Or are you thinking, oh, this is luck? Or is there someone that told you that meant something? It would be my question. It's definitely not something that happens to me regularly. I was scaling on being a listener. They say it's a law of attraction tarot thing, Luna. Which means what? It means angels. Communication is a module that nursing students have to pass and to continue throughout. Instructors are as critical of this as the more technical skills. Well, I think it's absolutely paramount as a nurse to be able to do that because you have people freaking out in front of you, right? Wow, Luna, it looks like you're not the moon. It looks like you're an angel, my friend. So does that mean, Mary, that an angel, if you look at the clock and it's 11:11, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55, that he's an angel or an angel's looking out for him? That would be my question, Mary, because you're the specialist on this. It throws me off, but in good way from the small research I've done, I hear each of those numbers have a meaning. Well, tell me what the meaning is. Chestnut, what's up, bud? It's been a while. I hope you're well. Tell me what the meaning is to you, because to me, it doesn't mean much. but that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything to you. So if it's positive, cool. 11:11's coming up here in 6 minutes. 11:11 for you. Well, it'll be 11:11 for me in 5 minutes. Does that take away if we plan it? 8.6 is an even number. Go for you, Jen. I'll give you 8.6. I'll give you 8.6 here. I'll write it down on my notes. To me, it's just a coincidental. I can't help but feel something positive. Well, if you feel positive about it, cool. Roll with it, bro. I'm happy for you. Genuinely. Seriously. Every numbers are different angel meanings. Well, you guys want to hear something funny? 555 in Thailand. This is what's funny about living somewhere else where something means something completely off the wall or different. 555, right? And you're like, what's that mean? When someone might think that's jackpot, right? In Vegas on one of those machines. 555 in Thailand is ha ha ha, because 5 is ha. So whenever someone puts 555 up, it means funny. It means I'm laughing at you. So when I saw you put 555, that's what came to my head. That's like a text code or something like that in Thailand. So just how random it is, how people see things differently. 555, that's cigarette? I never knew that. Mac, yeah, I leave for Orlando on the 17th. Still have so much to do. It's going to be a short trip, but fun. Good. Yes, my guy friend is totally on board. So hyped up watching. Good. I thought that was so funny. I was thinking about it the next day when you were like, I've already told him, don't try anything. Oh, man. I told him, don't try anything because you guys are getting a room together, right? Oh, my God. Put the wall right up. Oh. That's so funny because there's a lot of women like that too. I told him, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. It's like putting up some rules, huh? At least you're clear. My dad used to smoke. I think they don't make it anymore. Oh, that's a brand or something? Yeah, I've never heard that, but it's possible. It's just, my point is, Luna, it could mean many different things to many different people in many different cultures. It's the angels universe trying to get your attention. Okay, if you're going to throw something like that out, Jen, what, like, get your attention in what way? That a good thing is? Old Vietnamese smoke it a lot. Okay, wouldn't even know that. 555. If you're active listening to anyone, you need to be quiet, listen, and then ask questions about what they said. Good point, Chestnut 92. I agree. I mean, one of the reasons I'm not listening to you guys, I'm reading. But when I read, doesn't it help that I actually read what you wrote already? So you know exactly that I know exactly what you're wanting to say. It helps, right? Having so many new guy coworkers around my age has helped me boost my confidence a lot. Cool, man. It's called camaraderie. The things they talk about, I can relate to. Never had the type of bond ever before. I'm slowly adjusting this. Well, maybe give Vegas a little bit more of a chance. That's a big one in life, man. Everyone always thinks about making money, owning a home, having a nice car. I'll tell you what, you want some keys to happiness. One of them is camaraderie. If you don't have a group of friends, a group of pals, and a lot of times they can be people from work. And people you work with, you should respect. You should have a good time. I'm not a good listener. That's an identity statement. I think I ran a girl off because she had to keep telling me stuff over and over. Do you want to improve it? Because you can improve it, Brian. You just got to go, I'm going to improve this. You can improve it. Because people that aren't good listeners generally are a bit selfish. Okay, why was it this? Let's unpack this a little bit, Brian. Was it this specific girl or woman that you just didn't like listening to her, or are you just a bad listener overall to most people because you just don't have the time if it's not about you? I'll be going to the PA Renaissance Fair next weekend with my kids and family. Well, congratulations. I always think it's funny because PA to me in the Bay Area was Palo Alto, which is where Stanford is. My mind always wanders. Do you use the phone while people talk to you? Before, I was always around guys twice my age who mostly talked about finances, and family stuff. All throughout high school, I was always very introverted. Introverted is not a bad thing. Um, People tend to think a little bit deeper. They're more, there's a book on it. I'm not an introvert. My sister was. Um, but it's not a negative thing. It's not, they definitely think things out a little bit better than others. It's definitely not negative. In social scenes, someone might find it negative. But I'll tell you what, if you hang out with extroverts, or you have a couple good extroverts that are really outgoing, like myself, I go out of my way to talk to the introvert because I think it's always interesting to try to get them to come out of their shell. So maybe you have a couple of those at your job right now they'll bring you out and they enjoy it because oil and water don't mix. So the polarity of an introvert and an extrovert are actually good. And so you'll help each other because if you have 5 extroverts, no one gets a fucking word in. My mind always wanders. No, it was like months into my breakup at that time. You're having trouble focusing on what the person's saying. Oh, he's so looking forward to it. He doesn't want to miss a minute away from the park. He values our friendship. Women's worth isn't just sex. We have so many amazing qualities. Well, good for you, Judy Jack. That was eloquent. All the numbers have different meanings. Oh, gosh. Yo, 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 yo. You can't play with my yo-yo. That's an old song. I don't know if Rob knows that one, if he's still on deck. That was an Ice Cube collaboration. It's easier to look up, Mac. Okay. It's because it's deep. It's true that if you're open in a person, your partner, that means you're hiding something from them. Is it true that if you're open in person with your partner, that means you're hiding something from them? No, I don't think that's true. If you're not open, if you're not open, how do they know you're not open? It would seem to be something that would relate to being hiding something. How do you know you're an introvert or an extrovert? Good question. The short answer, an introvert is very outgoing. Someone likes to talk. Someone that's not scared to introduce themselves, likes conversation. On the extreme end of extrovert is someone the life of the party or steals the show. An introvert is someone that is quiet, shy, reserved. You got it? So who are you, Mary? I would say you're probably an extrovert. Is your significant other intimidated by your profession as a life or relationship close? Always wondered that. I don't talk about that. I don't talk about my personal relationship. That's just a choice I made. But it's a good question. It's just one of those places I chose not to go to. Because you know how I look at it? You know how I look at it is that if I'm in a relationship or I'm seeing someone or I'm talking to them, to put them in a position where I'm doing this and then I bring that up all the time, I don't think that's fair. And so your question's not bad. I understand your question. But people are coming to me for breakups, and I've seen this on other shows. And then I'm going to sit there and go, well, my relation's this, and my relationship's that, and my relationship's so great. I don't think it really helps you. But I would say that I don't think someone could be intimidated by that overall. All depends on the person, Chestnut. No Vaseline is the hardest Ice Cube song. No pun intended. Seth Drop Gloves. I like It Was a Good Day. I like that song. And I like that remake song. That's actually my favorite song from him. Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. I love that song. I'm introverted. We still like to socialize. It's that we need alone time to recharge. We are usually deep thinkers and very creative. All right, Judy Jack. And there's variances. There's not one size, it's just a term. There's people that are, 30% introverted and 70% extroverted. Introverts keep more to themselves. I kept to myself all throughout high school, felt comfortable that way. That's cool. And you can become more extroverted by your new job or a new girlfriend. People can help change that if that's something that you like. It's hard for me to be vulnerable in the relationship. Why? An introvert is typically depleted by interactions. Energy affects them differently than it affects extroverts. Interesting, CD. If you don't know if you're an introvert or an extrovert, you're an extrovert. Why is that? Because an introvert would be able to think about it long enough to understand. The difference between introverts and extroverts come down to one main thing: how they recharge. The introvert need to speak. Regardless if I consider myself an introvert, then I can admittedly say that I've become an extrovert. I'm very outgoing. I love to joke around, and I've been told I'm fun to have around. Well, fuck, cool, man. You're allowed to change who you are and how you act anytime in your life. And I think that it's part of having a new job or living in a new environment, really, too. I think I'm a little of both. Yeah, I would say that I'm definitely more of an extrovert, but I get to a point where sometimes I'm like, all right, that's enough. I need my alone time. That's the thing I too want to know too, so I don't know how to. So we turned this topic into an introvert extrovert conversation, which is fine, which is just fine. Who listens better, an introvert or an extrovert? I know that what I've noticed about introverts is they know what's going on in the room. My sister was always like this. She, she would be quiet, but she caught everything that was going on. Someone would walk in with a yellow sweater, recorded that. Someone else walked in, they look angry, recorded that. Her eyes would be wandering and looking at everything, and she'd be taking it all in. I feel like this whole intro extrovert thing is really a spectrum. When I'm on a sales call or with customers, I'm extremely extroverted. At home, I'm pretty low key. That's a good point. That's a good point. Especially, like I said, your job will bring that out in you. Looking at myself, since I was young, I just was never shy. I was very talkative. But I did have one class I always remember when I was in second grade, and the teacher was very calm and gentle in her approach. She just was calm and kind of quiet. And the whole class, that class, I didn't have my other buddies that I had in other classes that I used to, talk to and get in trouble or whatever you want. Nothing major. And that class, I was a lot more calm just by the surrounding group that was in there and the way the teacher acted. The teacher wasn't like my favorite teacher, but she was just always just so, okay, today we are going to go do this. I remember her name, Mrs. Bouchard. Miss Bouchard. I think that's a French name. And that class, I just remember being calm all the time. At home, I like to be alone in my room. There's a lot of people that I think with the phone now spend a lot. I'm not talking about you, Luna, but there can be too much time in your room when people get addicted to their phone. You got to get out and get on a walk. You got to get out and get some air. I mean, there's people I know that are sad and down, and I'll go, well, what are you doing? Well, I just come home and go in my room, or I stay in my house. We weren't meant to be that way. You got to get out and wander a little bit. Wandering's good, not just walking, but wandering, going somewhere downtown and walking around with your headphones on. I'm not saying that about you, Luna, because you say you like it, but it can become a problem. It can become a jail cell with the doors unlocked. You seen that in what's that movie? There's a movie where the jail cells, the doors unlocked. I actually go to the gym every other day. Well, good for you. The introvert needs to recharge time alone. The extrovert needs to recharge by getting in a crowd of people. Interesting. You obviously studied this a little bit, Judy Jack, more than I have. Because I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. Because sometimes I can be tired and I go on a live stream or I think I don't have it. And once I start talking, energy's developed. I like being alone when I want to relax and listen to music or a game on Xbox. Okay, we see and hear and pay attention to everything. Introverts, you mean? My sister was a 911 dispatcher, so it served her quite well. Um, I mean, that's the ultimate on listening, right? Any questions? Any questions? We're at 45 minutes here. This is a spirited live stream today. I appreciate you guys. Luna, Seth Drop Gloves, Jersey Jen, always a pleasure. CD, BU, Brian Union, Mary, who's feeling better, I hope. Rob went to the film festival. Does anyone know any tips on how to gain weight fast, easily? Yeah, eat a lot. No, I'm just joking. um, you know what? I would go to GN. I'm assuming that you want to gain weight for weight training, that you want to get yoked, you want to get bigger. Um, I would say go to GNC or one of those places if you're in the States and talk to one of those guys. Talk to some guy that's in the gym that's, you know, dare I use the word meathead? You know, some guy that's jacked up, some guy that looks the way you want to look. Go, hey man, what's your meal plan? How did you gain this weight? There's a lot of different ways, right? Um, I've been told protein helps with that or weight gainer. Yeah. So GNC, you know what I'm talking about with GNC? I would go and talk to one of those people. They love to talk about that stuff too. Wandering around is much more fun than walking around, walking with no specific destination or agenda. I like, you know, like for being an extrovert like myself, I do like walking around a downtown with an audiobook in my ears and going and having a coffee or going and having lunch by myself. I I don't mind it. I've actually developed that as part of my routine a lot. Eat carbs, yeah, that would be one. I don't know if that's a healthy way to gain weight, but that's a good one, Mary. There's been times where I wanted to gain weight and bulk up, um, but your eating counts. I think the 4 Hour Body. The 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, which is an older book now, has a lot of information on different things about your body. It's highly informative. You might want to check that out. Really interesting book. It's one of those that's got so much information. I don't know. It's hard to retain it all, but it's information if you want to put it to use. I actually have the book. Makes me want to revisit it myself. And I like animals more than people. I'm definitely an introvert. I'm eating sour gummy bears right now. Cool. I remember Sour Patch Kids. Um, an introvert's not a bad thing. Not at all. Baked chicken, broccoli, and rice if you want carbs. There you go, Seth. Drop gloves. Just drop some gloves. Drop some knowledge. I wouldn't. I guess the rice helps you gain weight, huh? I love broccoli. Broccoli's my favorite vegetable. A lot of people don't like broccoli and cauliflower. I like a lot. So there you go. Eat baked chicken, broccoli, and rice. Add some cheese, cheddar. I wouldn't suggest carbs either, but I'm not a dietitian. But that gives you a little bit of feedback, dude. Right? That book I would check out. I think that's highly informative, and there's something in there about gaining weight if you want to gain weight in a quick way. Um, I think in a month. What he does. Tim Ferriss does. I'm 5'7", 132. Well, what do you want to be? What do you want? How big do you want to get? 5 pounds of muscle? That should be easy. I don't know. That should be really easy, actually. This probably doesn't sound good, but if you're doing cardio, I'd cut back on your cardio. I eat rice with rice and soy sauce. Eat cheese. Ugh. I don't know if that sounds good. Thanks for sharing that, Mary. Any questions pertaining to breakups? We got a little bit of everything here. Getting back to be a better listener. Anyone have a comment about who's been that's how much I weigh. What, 132? You're gonna give your height too? 132. People are giving their measurements today. It all started with Mary and a hard 7. Oh no. Where did this live stream go today, huh? It's all right. We're having a good spirited chat here. Anyone have anything about someone in their life that you thought, wow, that person's a really good listener, or is this just a boring topic overall? You want to spice it up? You want to give me some details about how you guys are doing with your breakup? You got questions specifically about that? I don't judge you. I could just say that it doesn't sound good. I don't judge you about your food, but it doesn't sound good to me. I don't like soy sauce that much. I don't like salty. My dad likes that. I miss rice and cereal. Just can't do carbs without feeling bad. Mm. Well, I eat rice and I have cereal from time to time. What's going on with this? What is it today? Sunday? It's a Saturday night. I think you're a good listener, Mac. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Mary. I do the best I can. I do the best I can. I've gotten a lot better over the last few years because being someone that talks a lot, it's not easy. I remember friends. You lied. I lie about my weight to the DMV. Is that what you wanted to say? I think you're a good listener, Mac. When I was younger, though, I would cut people off. I definitely would be heard in a conversation. Definitely. And that's why I like being a teacher. If you're an extrovert and you like to talk and you get the floor all the time, that's a privilege. That's a privilege. There's a difference between talking and having good conversation, though, right? Good conversation is different. I mean, when you guys look back, are you guys having good conversations in your life with people? I just had a conversation with someone. Is it 3 nights ago or 4 nights ago? For 3.5 hours, we were talking in depth about these particular specific sets of books and these theories and these ways of communicating, just all kinds of different things. He's also a coach. And it was like 12:30 at night. And before we started the call at 9:30, I was thinking, I'm a little bit tired. We're going to have to cut this thing short tonight. And we ended up talking for 3.5 hours. Literally had to go like, hold on, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. And then came back, started up again. It's an outstanding conversation. Really interesting. 411. Wow. I'm trying to be a better listener. I've lived on a ketogenic diet for a while, so carbs have been out of it a while. Makes me feel physically I had a real problem cutting people off for a while. Eventually I had to learn to shut up. It's funny because I used to be the same way. Seth Drop Gloves. I used to be the same way. A friend of mine was like, you always cut people off. It was a good friend of mine. And well, especially if when in your 20s and stuff, when you're out hanging with your buddies and you're drinking, it just amps everything up. I always had a point to make or something to throw in there or a joke to make. But, that's the evolution of yourself. What's up, Skinner? Late to the party, but there's still hors d'oeuvres on the counter for you. Saturday night on the East Coast. Yeah, it's Saturday night, huh, guys? It's Sunday morning for me, 11:30 a.m. It's been a good one so far. I was up at 4:30 a.m. today. This sounds so Zen coach-like, right? 4:30, I got up. I laid flat on my back on the floor. My floor is tile and on a yoga mat, and I just did breathing. And I actually so a lot of you guys talk about trying meditation. I put those things in your ears, like when you go to a shooting range or something, the little orange ones, and you literally can hear yourself breathe way deeper. put those in, put some over my face, and just breathe and think. It's not total meditation, it's just relaxed breathing. And I did that for about 30 minutes. Then I went to the beach, went for a walk, did some guided meditation on the beach, also listened to some music, went for a jog. That was about an hour. And then I just had a live session with my hypnotherapist, who I'm working closely with and developing my own pattern for you guys out there, or you ladies and gentlemen on the show, that it's going to be basically a way for you to have a guided meditation to help you let go of things and then think about what you want. And I've been using it myself for the past 3 to 4 months. And this is the same lady that helped me about 10 years ago. And so I want to round it out for people in breakups. I think it's going to help them out. It's about a 10-minute recording. I'll have a video on that at some point. So it's really crazy when it's 11:30 a.m. and you've been up, or I've been up, you've been up. I've been up for 6 hours already. Feeling great. That's how I am. But I notice I do it now, and I'll just say, I'm sorry, go ahead. When you cut off people, I do the same thing. I'll go, no, it's okay. Go ahead. Because the thing is, good conversation has a rhythm, but when you're on the phone or you're on FaceTime, sometimes it's hard to get that rhythm, and you keep starting at the wrong points. Oh yeah, go ahead. Cutting people off is different than when your rhythm's off in a conversation. Your rhythm's off in a conversation when you guys don't know each other that well, or someone's starting when you're going to start saying something. It's just, and eventually you'll get the rhythm. But like I said, one thing that helps, if you feel like you're one of those people that's like, I need to jump in, I need to say what, just as the person's talking, because you're reassuring that you're listening. Yes, I do. I've talked to you in the live coaching. Actually, the second time I've talked to you in coaching, I thought it was better. Yeah, earplugs. They're like the little foam ones. But if you have trouble with meditation, try putting those earplugs in and feeling your breath that way. You hear it a lot deeper. I think the earplugs are what, $3, $5? I don't know. I have a funny story about earplugs if you guys want to hear it, since this live stream today is, there's not a lot of questions about relationships. So when I was living in San Diego years back, damn, I love the idea of a rhythm in a conversation. I never thought about it that way. It is true. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, when you're in a good conversation, there's rhythm to it, and you aren't overriding each other. And I would add to that, Seth Drop Gloves, if it's one-on-one, that's a real privilege to have a good conversation. Three's a crowd sometimes, four's a crowd, definitely. Like, having good conversations with a group is a little bit more difficult. But yeah, there is a rhythm to it. What do you mean earplugs? How do I explain it to her? I don't have them next to me. They're little orange foam things that you put in your ear. Some people put them on the airplane when they're flying. People put them in their ears when they shoot a gun at the range. Does that make sense? They're foam. I think you can get them at a drugstore or something back home. But I'm saying, if you put those in and you want to do some meditation or you want to relax, you can just hear yourself breathe and really relax that way. Because a lot of people say, oh, there's too many distractions. Yeah, well, I don't know what else I'd call them. They're foam and orange. Anyways, same kind they give you on a plane sometimes, depending on the airline. So when I was young, when I was living, I'll tell you guys this story. It's kind of funny. When I lived in San Diego, we were, me and a friend of mine were going to, great, meditate every night. We were going to the video store. That shows you how long ago it was, because we don't even do video stores anymore. Blockbuster or one of these places. And where I used to live, you could ride beach cruisers everywhere. You could ride a bike everywhere, right? And so we were younger, and we had a toke earlier in the evening, little smoke. And then I said, "Oh, let's put these earplugs in, and you could hear yourself breathe." And we're like, "Wow, this is really cool." So we went to the video store, and we're on our beach cruisers, and we get into the Blockbuster. We're walking around, and a girl comes up to me and my friend. She's like, "Hey, what's up?" She's being really friendly, and she's like, "You guys are gonna watch movies tonight?" Da, da, da. And we're like, "Yeah." And we have our earplugs in, but I didn't want to pull them out. And so she's talking, so you're just hearing bits of it, right? You're just hearing bits of it. And so she goes, "Why don't you guys come and watch a movie at our house?" We didn't really hear it correctly. And like I said, we had toked a little bit earlier. And so she's like, "Why aren't you guys, like asking questions?" And we go outside, and this guy stops us as we're leaving. He's like, "You guys are so stupid, man. Those girls wanted to hang out with you guys. What are you guys even doing?" And I took the earplugs out, and I'm like, I had my earplugs and I didn't really hear what they said to us. I don't know if you guys caught that full story, but it was pretty funny. We go into oh man, I meditate every night. I thought it had something to do with listening. Working at the club, you got to wear them throughout the shift. Okay. Well, add them to when you do your meditation. It's even does something for you. I've sold about 1 million earplugs. I'm in industrial sales, and they're the most common PPE item at any factory or job site. Oh, cool. That's random as hell. I wonder if there's like a deluxe pair of earplugs. The ones I have are just orange foam, but actually putting them in when you want to relax and not listen, it's pretty cool. I know what earplugs are. I just thought you were talking about using them to listen better. No, I'm talking about using them as a source of meditating better or listening to your breathing better. Earplugs, those dime-sized orange balls that you can put in your ears to sleep down the traffic noise, specifically, especially snores. Yeah, maybe you'll have to get a pair. Put that on your list, Judy Jack, if you're going to be sharing a room with your friend. That's when you don't want to listen, Mary. Silence is nice, right? I mean, why do we always want to go to the woods or these kinds of places? Tri-phase corded are the absolute cream daylight. I'm gonna write this down. This is random. I didn't know that there was a cream de creme of earplugs. That's funny, dude. 3M tri-phase. Okay. But noise pollution is bad. It's bad. What time is it right now? 11:38. That's funny that there's a premium earplug out there. I would have never known that. Silence is golden. I mean, it can get old, but like I said, that's why people like going to the woods or the beach in the morning. It's nice. As we get silent now. There's pink ones too. Yeah, I believe you. I didn't buy the pink ones. Any closing questions? There are green ones, I believe. Any closing questions here? This has been 10 people. Man, I went on the Love Chats live stream a few days ago. I don't know if I mentioned this already. He's polished, man. He's got music in the background. He's got a donation bin up. I was thinking to myself, wow, this guy's got an assistant taking questions down. It's the little gold standard. There are metal detectable ones primarily for food production. Metal detectable ones. Okay. Wow, that's deep. That's deep right there. I wouldn't know that. There are metal detectable ones primarily. Jeez. You just never know. Anyone else with some breakup or relationship questions before I say la vie? My sister was visiting last month. I fell asleep during 2 movies. She told me I snored, but only a little. Kitten purr snore. A kind snore, huh, Judy Jack? I tend to fall asleep. I remember when I was younger, I used to be able to watch an hour and a half, 2.5 hour movie, no problem. And now I always fall asleep. Always. I don't know. Is it part of getting old? I think this is gonna be it for us today, guys. It's a little slow on the sticks here. Is everyone on here single? Wow, that's a good question. Seth Drop Gloves, I believe, is Jersey Jen is Judy Jack. Proudly is. Luna is newly. Skinner is. And CD, who was on earlier, I don't know. Anyone else? Chestnut is. TG, I'm not sure. Brian single. Wow, you guys got a nice little single team here. Post breakup, 3 months. Yeah, that's single. Shit. Are we mingling, Mary? Yeah, good for you, Brian. Good for you. Jersey girl, Jen, Rory. What are you talking about? The love chat? What I was saying earlier? Yeah, like I said, his live stream when I went into it just for a couple minutes, I was like, wow, this is polished as hell, man. He's got everything going for him. There's a little music in the background and stuff. It's crazy in a good way or in a bad way? What is crazy? Isn't it funny when someone says something's crazy? It could mean something good or it could mean something bad. You're saying I think there was 200 people on deck. So, but the thing that I find the couple times I've dropped my head in there is half the questions are asking to see him, which I think is brilliant. Half the questions are, when are we going to get to see your face? When are we going to see your handsome face? When are we going to ever see who you are? Are you going to show your face? And it feels like he's answering that question every 5 minutes. Your intro makes me happy for this one or for all live streams. Because that's something that give me feedback on. Because when you first start doing these, you try different things. What's in the works is me doing a podcast with a female friend. And that would be fun. That'd be fun because I can talk. Hey, I'm Mac and I help people with their breakups. Thanks for all your help, Mac. That's what I do. Cut all the bullshit, right? I remember early videos, I would explain myself, and a friend of mine was like, stop explaining yourself so much. We're all mingling. I checked out one a few months ago, and he tells you to constantly repeat your question until he answers. Okay. That's a good way to do it. That adds to the comments, I guess. I guess that's the way to come across it. But that wouldn't be a lot of fun. It's almost like going to a concert or something and trying to get to the front row to get an autograph or something, huh? Good for him. He's doing good work, I guess. We're all mingling here. I got to find a way to get you guys in a similar group here. Little VIP line. The channel's been growing, folks, and thanks to you guys. I think that Peppa Pig. Well, I like the name, Double P. Peppa Pig. What does that mean? Why did you go with Peppa Pig? Is that a female Peppa Pig or a male Peppa Pig? Did you check out Corey? Oh, Mary, you didn't know who Corey Wayne was. That's right. Did you like it? What'd you think of him? He's a cool dude. I buy everyone collective sandwich in the VIP section. A collective sandwich? But you don't do carbs, Seth Drop Gloves. Seth Drop Gloves, are you the one that said you like Alan Watts too? I think you told me you like him too. Buy everyone a collective sandwich in the VIP section. Love this. Peppa Pig, I haven't seen you on the live stream. Let me know if you got any questions. Political affiliation. I don't know what you mean by that. Turkey and lettuce with no bread, right? Watts is the man, isn't he? Man, talk about the best modern day, in my view, philosopher. His lectures, just his you want to talk about rhythm in a conversation? The rhythm in his lectures. The rhythm in his lectures, Seth. I mean, that's captivating. Who's lean in here? He's copies your style. He's cool. Corey Wayne's cool. Who's lean in here? But I think you're more real. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not competing against him, but um, I think Alan Watts is underappreciated too, dude. With YouTube now, it's like it's brilliant that we got access to those lectures. Those used to be university classes, but Alan Watts, yeah, you listen to some of his stuff, it gets deep. He's a highly educated individual. Appearance wise, way to attract women and ex women. I'm sorry, what's your question? Can you rephrase that, Luna? Who's lean in here? You mean like who's slender? Appearance wise, ways to attract and ex women. Yeah. Explain that, elaborate. I'll get into it for you. I'll give you guys another 15 minutes if we can get some questions on board. It's true. When Corey smiles, it makes me smile too. Corey Wayne, he's got a sneaky smile. Yeah, I'm trying to drop my last little weight. Trying. I mean, it's just all about diet and exercise, right? And if it's not diet and exercise, then it's probably sleep. Sleep's a big one. Sleep's big. I'll check out Alan Watts. I don't know him either. Yeah, Alan Watts is he's spiritual philosopher is what I'd call him, but he's got sense of humor. I stole "Come On Man" from Corey Wayne. Come On Man's been around forever. What can a man do to reattract an ex? And you mean appearance wise? Stop trying, stop trying, stop trying, stop trying. Number one. Come on, man. That's so funny, actually. Seth dropped gloves because I had a college roommate, one of my really good friends, and he always used to go, man, come on, man. Man. I used to always tease him. He'd go, man. Oh, man. Thoughts on AI taking our jobs? There's certainly going to be jobs that AI takes, and it could be breakup coaching. You could get a robot, right? There's a movie about that called Her. Let me get back to Luna's question really quick. Take your right hand out, reach out, and choke yourself. I haven't seen that one. I'm sorry. I'm going to answer Luna's question because he had a specific question. How did it reattract your ex appearance wise? Number one, stop trying. Number two, if you have some issues with your appearance that you're not happy with, not your ex, that you're like, wait a minute. For example, if you think you're fat, stop being soft on yourself and go, oh yeah, I'm just a little chubby. I'm just overweight. Go, no, I'm fat. I want to work on it. I want to get slim. I want to get a six pack. I want this. And then start working on it. Start making a decision to commit to losing some weight. Don't start making yourself throw up or take diet pills. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to talk to someone that's a friend or a family member that is good with fitness and just get on. The thing about weight loss that people hate is it takes time and it takes discipline. That's all. So get your weight right would be one if it's appearance wise, if that's an issue for you. And if you want to gain weight, you want to get bulked up, then in your case, that's fine. Think back to when you were at your best physically, appearance wise. What was your hairstyle? How did you dress? How did you feel about yourself? Think back to that. Thirdly, fourthly, appearance wise, get yourself a really good haircut. Treat yourself to a few things. Get yourself a couple new sets of threads, some new clothes. Those are different things you can do, but all the while, you're not going to be taking pictures of yourself going, look how great I am. So The appearance thing is just for yourself. If there's something you're really unhappy with your appearance and you can change it or improve it, usually it is weight more often than not. Here's another one: get a tan, right? I don't know, but there's different ways that you feel most attractive. And then you look back if you're old enough and you go, shit, I remember there was a lot of girls that were checking me out. A lot of women were checking me out when I was this. Okay, what was my style then? Did I like that style? What was my hair like then? What was my weight? And then you can get back to that zone. If you don't have that, then find someone else to model it after. But you don't want to fix your appearance to reattract your ex solely. You want to fix your appearance to get your ass back on deck, to get your ass back on deck of your ship, not hers. Because she doesn't want you to go, hey, look how good I look. I got this new shirt on. Hey, I ran into her friend. No. You want to run into her by accident or run into one of her friends by accident, and you've been going to the gym for 4 months, 6 months. You never felt better, never looked better, and you don't give a fuck. And if she tells her friend, you don't give a fuck because you're doing well and you're doing so well and you feel so good about yourself that it doesn't matter because you're going to meet someone else if she doesn't come back around. You can imagine 200 people asking you the same question over and over again until you answer, Mac. No, I can't imagine that. These are a little bit more intimate, our conversations, huh? This is fun. I enjoy you guys. I really do. It's a privilege that, and it's so funny. I was thinking back. Now we have a little tribe. We have a little group of people that know each other, and someone will say something negative to me, and people will jump on the person. I'll be like, "No, he doesn't." Someone just said, "Oh, well, he just talks at the beginning. I can never ask anything." And like 3 people came to my defense and are like, "No, this is the way the channels run." Little guardians at the gate. I thought that was funny. Thoughts on AI taking our jobs? It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen to everyone. You need to find jobs that aren't. I think there's still going to be jobs like this where people have one-on-one human connection. But you're not going to be able to fight it. You need to adapt to it. Should I break no contact with my ex on her birthday? Come on, man. I'm from Cali, OC, but moved to the East Coast, and I live in Myrtle Beach. Excuse me, I just had a burp. I'm in Atlanta right now due to the hurricane. ATL. I remember 4 or 5 years ago, I was back in California just for a month. I was staying at my grandfather's house and watching the cable TV back home because I don't watch cable. And he had it on, and they had that Atlanta Housewives of Rappers. And they had like everyone's little too, right? It's like Lil Smokey, Lil what was the name of one of them? Lil Sneezy. And just the drama in those shows. I always think of that from Atlanta. But I would watch it, right? People are like, "Oh, this is bad TV," but you're watching it. My favorite Corey Wayne. Okay. Seth drop gloves. No, I'm joking, Jen. That's how Corey Wayne answers every question. I've always been a slim guy. I wanted to gain weight, but ever did anything to yoke up. My ex would randomly tell me I was skinny. So now that I break up happened, I know gaining weight would up me. Well, being someone, I'm also someone that's skinny or slim. And when I was younger, I used to be like, "Oh, I'd want to get bulked up." But dude, there's plenty of women that like you lean. You don't have to get yoked up. That's your choice. And if she always said that, she would randomly tell me I was skinny. There's plenty of people that want that. But I would say the fact that you only want to gain 5 pounds, that's fine. But really, embracing the fact that you could probably eat what you want. You're in your early 20s. Some people are jealous of you being that skinny. So that just remember this, Luna Martinez. Just because she said that about you doesn't mean every other woman or everyone else goes, "Oh, this is skinny's unattractive." I think I just had not a live coaching, but a story sent in, and the lady was saying how her ex was a skinny little thing, and she didn't like him at first, but his personality and his attitude and his job and everything else prevailed. And so at the end of the day, whether you're skinny or you're not skinny, that's what's going to prevail, right? The fact that 2 months now in the gym and I'm starting to look sharper, bigger. I have a damn chest cleavage. Now that's fucking awesome. Yeah. I've never heard of chest cleavage for men. But I guess it's true. Good for you, dude. Then you don't need to gain weight. Just keep doing your thing and don't be attached to gaining weight. Just be attached to getting lean, mean, and feeling good about yourself, dude. I figured as much, but the answer is still no. 2 months now in the gym and I'm starting to look sharper and bigger. And the Mary, I'm heading back to Myrtle Beach soon. Did Hurricane Dorian cause a lot of damage? Identify what you don't like about your appearance and work on that. Good knowledge, Mary. I had to be evacuated on a Wednesday. This is how much I watch the news. Someone told me, "Oh, did you hear about that?" And it was already after the fact. I don't watch the news at all. Hope everyone was okay. Obviously, you guys were, so that's good news. That's really, really good news. Well, this has been good. Little Peppa Pig, congratulations on joining the live stream. Thanks for telling me you like the channel. I appreciate you popping your head in. You should identify what you don't like about your ex and go find a girl that has what she lacks. Mary, I was always insecure about it. She started calling me out on it after a couple of years together. It's not about her, but I've always wanted to gain weight. So I guess this is for me after all. Well, then do it, dude. Go for it, bro. Just don't go overboard. Go set, if you want 5 pounds of lean muscle mass, that's not easy to do, but it's doable. And so the idea that you don't want to get, 200-pound like pit bull, go for it, bro. If that's what makes you feel, if you're going to the gym and you're feeling good about yourself, just continue on. Continue on. Nice little session today. This has been good, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. This has been good. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Appreciate everyone that joined today. There's been some people who have been here from the get-go. This has been good for me and hopefully good for you. Wish you all the best. Curtains.